Is your brand not visible on ChatGPT and other AI platforms? You're not alone. Join Sunil Arya for a practical session on how to make your brand visible across AI platforms. Smart strategies built for real business impact. Hosted by Vodien in just a few minutes.
Hi everyone, good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today for Vodien's live webinar, How to Rank Your Brand on ChatGPT and LLMs and Why LLM Discovery is Very Critical for SEO in 2026. My name is Sakshi and I'll be your host and convener for today's session. Today's buyers just don't search, they ask. ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and Copilot are becoming the first stop for discovery. They expect one clear answer, not 10 blue links or endless scrolling. Most brands, for most brands, this creates a new challenge. You might rank on Google but disappear inside AI answers. But here's the opportunity. Brands that rank in LLM responses win trust before a click ever happens. And the reality is, LLM discovery is still in its early stages. Fewer than Fewer than 10% of the brands are intentionally optimizing for ChatGPT and AI search. And yet, early adopters are already seeing impact. So the message is clear. SEO in 2026 isn't about ranking pages anymore, it's about ranking within AI conversations. So, are you ready to use AI? This session is designed to offer practical real world insights into how small and medium businesses can leverage AI and digital tools to grow and market their business. As businesses owner and entrepreneurs, we know that growth often comes within its fair share of challenges, from time constraints to resource limitations. And here's exactly what we are here to solve. In this session, we'll explore how AI and web tools can help streamline your operations, improve efficiency, and ultimately help your business grow. And as we prepare to get started, sharing a few quick housekeeping notes and exclusive perks with you. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to drop in the chat box. We'll address them during the live Q&A towards the end. This session is being recorded and we'll be sending you the recording and material via email afterwards. Stay with us till the end of the workshop. We have some exclusive offers and a chance to win multiple $100 grab vouchers. And if you want to increase your chance of winning, post about your experience on LinkedIn, tag us at the rate VodienSG. And lastly, for better view, you can experience the Vodien webinar in full screen. Now let's have a look at people behind today's session. We have a great team bringing this webinar to life today. Sunil Arya, a keynote speaker, founder and CEO of Pixelo Digital. Myself, Sakshi, I handle growth marketing and partnerships at Vodien. Vaibhav, Senior Director Acquisitions at Vodien. Kayed, leading media and partnerships at Vodien. And Sachi, powering all Vodien brand. It's time to kick off the session, and I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Sunil Arya. Sunil is a founder and the CEO of Pixelo Digital, a global B2B GTM agency helping 10 plus GTM teams like SAP and Newfold to accelerate sales and drive consistent pipeline growth. Sunil's works bring together data, GTM strategy, and execution to help growth teams scale with clarity and intent. Sunil, we're excited to hear from you. Over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sakshi, for the kind introduction, and thanks really to all of the Vodien team, especially Vaibhav, Kayed, for setting this up and creating this value across the board for all the marketers as well as founders who are part of this session today. As I'll just give you my quick introduction, my focus has been on building GTM teams as well as scaling outbound as well as inbound marketing over the last 15 years. I started my journey with Pixelo as a brand 5 years back, and prior to that, I was working and heading marketing functions for different AI and ML brands like Quantify, Haptic. During this journey, interestingly, we have learned a lot, and I've tried to unlearn myself also during this journey and try to come up with new strategies which can help across the board. Interestingly, in the last few months, I would say there is a lot of dynamic shifts we are seeing across, and we have to be realistic and cognizant about how do we see, especially the space shaping up for all of us. You talk about LLMs, uh, you talk about different aspects on the tools and technology that have to be part of your strategy. So during the session, I will spend a lot of time on how do you get ranked on LLM search and discovery, as well as we'll speak about some of the marketing strategies there. So let's go start going. I'll take over and I'll share my screen. Just give me a moment. So actually, let me know if my screen share is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
All right. I'll skip some of my introduction. I think we have already spoken about it. Talking about Pixelo, we are focused on enabling you in terms of your growth journey from a GTM perspective. And having worked with more than 250 plus customers over the last 5 years, we love to look at different angles from a data standpoint and solve these key aspects for all of you. We also run a data company called Prospecto. It's a B2B data intelligence platform, and now it is also integrated with AI SDR as a service. So if you would like to have a chat, please feel free to reach out us to across the different platforms. Our capability of or Pixelo on inbound side, our key focus has been purely on the latest forms of SEO, which is today AEO, GEO, as well as programmatic SEO. On outbound, we can also help you across signal-led campaigns. We are an official Clay partner. If you heard about Clay, it's a very exciting tool which can help you segment your campaigns, especially on your ICP, signals and triggers, so on and so forth. And on the performance side, we also run paid ads. So pretty much we do end-to-end B2B marketing GTM side of things. These are a few logos, in the past we have been, associated with in our journey. Probably you can visit our website and know more. There are a bunch of case studies also we have listed there. Awesome. So just a heads up, as we go deeper during the session, there would be a bunch of surprises for you, especially what are the key takeaways and what you can learn from the session. So please stay tuned till the end, because I'll make sure to how do I make this very meaningful for all of you. Yeah. Awesome. So there has been a lot of viral content going, and the video, which I'm sure some of you have already seen, the penguin going in the opposite direction compared to the crew, right? And personally, I believe sometimes it's okay to be different, and you have to think through about being different. What are the things you're going to solve? And today we are in a landscape where you have to start thinking from an AI perspective of the strategies you should implement, which should give you a growth in the next 5-10 years horizon. And that is where the focus should be, right? So let's go more deeper when we look at this, and let's think about how the Google rankings were before, especially a few years back, 3 to 10 years back. And a lot of search used to happen across when you're searching for any kind of inquiry, which is matched with the keywords type. You used to do a lot of on-page and off-page, used to study maybe 10 links to take a decision and go through all of this content and do a buying decision based on that. But things are really changing across in the last few years. Probably marketers were still obsessed about writing so many blogs, taking care of your H1, H2, though you still should do it. But things have really changed across. You don't have to just care about CTR rankings as well as impressions, but what the AI is bringing into the picture is what we should focus on today. But at the same time, do you think this works, just creating content at scale? Probably the answer is no. And What exactly has changed and why it doesn't work is because when you're actually writing so much of content, people don't care about content which is very generic in nature. And people are just thinking, why do I really need to click 20 links at one go? So I would like to do a quick poll to understand what you think about on this, and would like to understand a bit more. Where are you, focusing on, and when you want to start your journey to search for a product or a solution, where do you usually go first when you want an answer? So interestingly, I see a pretty positive shift on LLMs. We are seeing pretty much 50% responses on LLMs, as well as the old traditional way of searching on Google. People are still there. I think this number have picked up over the last few years. So very interesting. Awesome. So that gives me an idea that a lot of users are already searching on LLMs, and so that gives me a fair understanding. So let me get back. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. So that's what we are talking today. I mean, AI is actually changing the game. And if we don't have the right AI strategy for your search engines, probably you might lose overall, from a search discovery perspective, from a brand awareness perspective, or more importantly, from a lead gen perspective. So what are actually AI solving your purpose, right? And today you're not just wanting to read a lot of articles. You need a very concise responses to the kind of query you're searching for, right? Which is more focused on getting a direct answer. If you want to compare different forms of questions or even brands, you get those kind of responses, and that helps to decide on what could be a decision to go next, and probably you might not even click a link. So I personally call it no click zone, where you're not even clicking but taking a decision just by reading a lot of content there. So what you see here is getting responses and AI overviews when you're actually searching for different forms of responses. You can see on Google Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, now Perplexity, and all of those. Yeah, at the end, marketers are also feeling a bit surprised. I'm, in my experience, having working with different customers and marketers, demand gen leaders. This is almost 1.5 years back. Suddenly, their search dropped at least 50%, and they started asking me questions about why we are not seeing those many clicks. Uh, but we had a good conversation where it's okay if your visibility or overall the clicks is going down, but your impressions have to be maintained as well. You need to start focusing on getting visibility on the LLM side, right? Some of the trends, what you see on the right hand side, talks about the AI citations, how much visibility is that taking up today, as well as what, and that makes it more important for you, all of you, to make it as part of your strategy. So yeah, welcome to 2026, and the revolution is already up and running, and I would say you're not very late, but it's high time we should start thinking about the next steps on the AI discovery side. As you know, traditional versus the new AI search, there are a bunch of new tools coming in the market, and this could be kind of your tech stack, what we are talking about. GPT is something which I think majority of the users might be using. 5.2 is something which I heavily use now. Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, Meta, as well as Gemini is something is part of your discovery stack. We'll go more deeper into each element as we talk about how do you solve this, right? Earlier, if you see the way Google or the way you might be searching for might be best running shoes and opening 10 different tabs. But today you're just reading about the articles. We are emotionally trying to connect about different aspects and then take a decision. That is where AEO GEO models comes into the picture. And before I go into AEO and GEO models, I'll just do a quick poll with all of you just to understand your understanding on this subject. So I would just love to understand, have you really heard about AEO and GEO so that I can go really deeper into it? So, oh, we are getting some responses that this is the first time we are hearing about it. Some of the responses, majority of the responses are you have heard about it, but not sure how it works. So that helps. Uh, there are around 20%, 25% responses on we are doing something about it. That's pretty interesting. And pretty much we don't have any response on heard the term ignored it. So I'll assume that majority of the audience knows about or heard about it, but I'm not sure how it works. So let's focus on how to on this session. Yeah. Great. I'll reshare my screen and let's keep going. So I would just like to simplify certain things on fundamental SEO. SEO has evolved over the years. It's pretty much not the same how it was earlier. Earlier, you used to do a lot of on-page, off-page backlinking. Some of the elements still remain the same, but there are new dynamics which has added into each layers of it, right? When you talk about AEO today, you look at getting AI overviews and getting snippets, getting ranked on Google faster when somebody's searching for you, and having a very summarized view of content and answers there. When you're looking at GEO, which is generative engine optimization, it's all about getting ranked on LLMs when people are searching for the right keyword and those form of responses. It could be getting the right citations and the links, and the user can actually go and read more about you. Programmatic SEO is more focused on scaling your content at scale. So let's say, for example, you are an e-commerce brand, right, and you want to sell shoes, let's say in Singapore market. The different forms of keyword strategy you should be part of your making, and so that when a user is searching for those kind of keywords, you should have different landing pages, blogs, so on and so forth. I'll show some examples on each element. And AIO basically focuses on writing the right content which AI really likes in very simple terms. Yeah, and that is our some of the focus area would be on how to do all of this. So let's move forward and let's start with the AEO playbook. So as I said, some examples what you see on your screen here, when you're searching for any form of query, and when Google is actually summarizing it and putting it as a snippet at the top, that's where brands should focus on. Let's take one example here, and what I'll do is I'll just paste it over Google and show you this during live. So what I did is I just searched for what's the best payroll software for SMEs in Singapore, and you see the kind of queries it throws across. Okay. Now our goal should be how do we start getting ranked on these form of Google searches. Okay. At the same time, people are also searching queries which are very emotional or kind of messy in nature, and the the focus should be on how do you create the content which actually connects the user with the kind of content you're posting across. So it starts with not keywords. I would say it starts with a query formation. And how do you build different strategy is first just go to GPT, right, and or Claude or any of the LLMs you're using. And this is a prompt which you can start using is like the kind of questions people are asking about your product or your service, or you can pick up any location in, let's say, for example, in the last 1 year, 2 year, and get the kind of queries and the list you're getting for, right? And what kind of follow-up questions people might ask. On top of this, you can also ask, from an emotional standpoint on how to make it very natural when the person is searching to give you more queries so that you can build content around it. So what we did is similarly, we created, taking an example of HRMS, we created different clusters or buckets, which is awareness stage, comparison, evaluation, and decision making. and you might get all of these queries in one place. Okay, so prompt that accordingly, and you will form those, those document in one place. Once you have all of this list in place, the next step is to start writing for these form of content. You should educate your users, don't sell, because LLMs don't like it. And your goal should be to explain categories and decision frameworks, right? Similarly, in comparison and decision making, you have similar strategy. What we have done here is we have showed you different query forms which you can keep building. I'm sure for your brand there might be different query, but the foundation remains the same. The fundamentals remain the same of how you're building your content from scratch. Now, when you once the content is created, you can figure out like what channels, what kind of pages you need to create. Ideally, it's always preferable to do a mix. So it could be a mix of a pillar page, mix of different blog posts, as well as FAQ pages when the user is searching about these form of query. Now, interestingly, how would you write content so that AI is interested to read about you, right? Otherwise, I've seen different customers or their content team, they keep writing and they talk about, hey, you know what, we are not getting ranked. So what are the changes we should do across? So I always tell them, okay, now you need to actually start thinking about how actually are humans thinking or humans speaking. And that is where the LLMs are also getting more trained on. And that is the space we should also start thinking about. For example, in this case, title is very specific to an industry and the target audience, what you are seeing here, right? Which is, again, very clear for understanding as well, building more across the board. In the first two lines, it's always better if you can be, you can explain things very clearly. As you see here, the response, what you're saying, yes, they really need one when payroll feel risky, compliance feel unclear. The kind of content examples what I'm showing you here is trying to explain this end-to-end in the beginning itself. So again, it has to connect with from a human perspective. It has to feel natural and don't make it sellable, okay? And less salesy across the board. We have given you a few more examples on how the subheadings and pain point could be focused on. And you can keep this as part of your strategy when you're creating your overall content frameworks. So if you see clearly, the layout is something which we recommend, but certain layouts work for certain brands and certain layouts might not. So what we are showing across is this is something which really works well in the B2B space for us, where you're actually talking about a problem and then talk about feature and then outcome and kind of a solution across on this board, and making it very, very easy to read as well as solve this problem. Yeah, I mean, as you know, as I already spoke about, some of the comparison tables will always help, as well as some of the FAQs. Some comparison in terms of your competitors subtly would also help to get more ranking and citations across the board. Amazing. In terms of technical, I think majority of the audience might know about on-page, I'm assuming. When you're actually building content for AI, make sure that the schema markup and the LLM.txt is placed in your URLs. Make sure the HTML structure is very clean, and even the URL have to be very clean and readable for for Google to rank you higher across the board. Yeah, but today Answers is not going to just help you your journey. So AEO is just one part of it. Now, if you want to start getting ranked on on LLMs, if I talk about GPTs or Perplexities, you also have to start thinking about, am I able to solve each element of query? What you see here, there are two examples. On your left-hand side, you see one example which is very detailed, and then you see something which might work 5 years back. I'm sure the example what I show you on the left-hand side works better, because the only reason is because it's more trustworthy. If you see again this example, and you can actually vouch and go ahead, let's say, with some of the brand mentions, what is showing across. Before we move further detail into GEO, let's have our last poll. I would love to understand few of your understanding. Team, if you can just help me. So our next question is, do you know if ChatGPT and different LLMs are mentioning your brand today? Interestingly, we have around 35% audience who believe yes. Uh, Around 46% audience have never checked. So I think if we can move from this 46 to a certain more positive, that should be my goal, where we have to start focusing on how do we start getting ranked, as well as how do we become more cognizant on checking our result across this journey. Yeah, awesome. I'll move back to presentation mode. Just give me Great. So if we talk about from a geo perspective, I think importantly, the most important factor personally I feel is the trust area, where you have to create content which is really trustable for the user who's reading about you. And that is where AIs are starting giving you those form of citations and links. We'll do a live case scenario. I'll just take this query and actually do a search. So what I'm searching here is what licenses do fintech and payment platform, which is again in the BFSI space, need to operate in Singapore, and what platforms hold the most MAS licenses in Singapore. It gives me a pretty long article across. Interestingly, the geo focus should be how do we get ranked when there is any form of brand mentions. Okay. So if you see here, there are different brand mentions about DBS, there is Circle Internet, Coinbase Singapore, and all of these articles are cited from different links. Okay. Our focus should be how can we get ranked for the kind of terms or queries people might be searching for you. Okay. So first thing first, we have to make sure that your positioning is pretty much clear on the kind of product and services you're trying to explain, as well as are you writing the right content for your target audiences, as across this journey. Few channels that works well when AI is citing you or AI is trying to index your content. I personally really love Reddit because over 40% Google search engines are now crawling Reddit as a platform, as well as now you see different LLMs engines have also started crawling. On top of this, Wikipedia pages, if you can, that would be really helpful, as well as different PR and articles. Bunch of different activities which we should do is writing content on LinkedIn, as well as getting thought leadership article across, as well as doing webinars and brand mentions. So doing all of this consistently will get you the right result. So let's start with Reddit as a channel. So what you can do is probably start picking up certain topics, start creating your account, as well as start joining form of subreddits. How does it work? I'll just show you on Reddit. So what you can do is just, if I search for, let's say, fintech as an example, you can join this group and you can start posting regularly on these form of channels and educate the users. Please make sure if you try to sell your content or try to make it salesy, you might get banned and your access will be revoked. So make sure that you're really giving value across different content what you're posting here. Okay. As I said, build your karma on the channel, and you start getting better visibility if you start giving really good value on these channels. I would suggest frequency is up to you. You can start small and then gradually you can increase your posting frequency across the board. Next few ideas is doing different form of podcast, webinars, create a lot of value as well as a lot of trust for your users, the kind of content you might be posting across the board. Yeah. As majority of you might know today, founder-led leadership content as well as writing is very important. So also all the LLMs give you good weightage on these platform and start getting you ranked higher across, be it X, be it LinkedIn, be it Meta, so on and so forth. Some of the mistakes from an AEO and GEO standpoint is, some of the things I've already mentioned, but I think inconsistent messaging across assets will not help. So please ensure you're following a key structure on end-to-end how you're doing this. Awesome. So this is especially for managers and founders. So, okay, I have an AEO and GEO strategy now. What are the things I should be tracking, right? These are the few things from a KPI standpoint. So, for example, what are the citations? What are the brand mentions you are seeing week in, month in, and how are you trying to, track these aspects? There are different tools through which you can actually keep track of these kind of KPIs and build more on this. And I'll be talking about some of the tools at the last bit. Quickly talking about the last bit, which is programmatic SEO, since now we are have around 15 minutes more. So basically, programmatic SEO can help you 2x to 5x your overall organic traffic by creating the right content, which can be created at scale. So I'll show you a live example of one of our customers. So Voke is a brand which is a competitor to Slack. So what we are doing here is we are trying to create different form of content and templates which can be done at scale. So for example, Voke versus competitor, the industry focus pages, team chat for Voke, project management tool with respect to industry, so and so forth. So overall, I can create more than 500 pages at one go if I have a right programmatic SEO strategy, and I can do this at scale. Now, when the content is really relevant to the user who's searching for you, you might start getting ranked higher, right, on Google search engines. So that is what programmatic SEO solves in a very nutshell. Now, to build all of this strategy, you have to be very focused. First is what kind of keywords are getting searched for. What would be my industry pages? What are the users searching for as an alternative? All of that. Right? Once you have that strategy in place, you can build this content across. So this is what I have explained here, and I'll be sharing these materials with you also. So for example, cheapest tool for specific use case, alternative to a solution, so on and so forth. Great. So some of the toolkit what you should implement in as part of your overall AI strategy. I will also show you as I speak. I think Webflow is a pretty solid tool, an alternative to WordPress, making great website experiences. Then if you're looking at scraping different form of content, especially this can help you from programmatic SEO, Simple Scraper is a great tool. If you're looking for different forms of query and answers and build your initial strategy, you can also look at Also Asked. This is a great tool for building more on your strategy. Then Answer the Public. Again, this is a great tool for finding more queries about what people are searching everywhere, from Google to ChatGPT and other LLMs. All right. And there are a bunch of others across. Screaming Frog, I think you might already know. Google Console, the classic way of doing more analysis, as well as a few other tools which are listed and we'll be sharing more in terms of our playbook. Great. So what are the future trends we are looking currently, right? Very excited on the new updates from Gemini and ChatGPT. They are introducing ads. So stay tuned on, especially on the ChatGPT side, on how this will work. You can add that as your new strategy on getting more visibility as well as traffic faster, and test it out. Some of the other areas which I've already mentioned, I think you should start auditing. You should reach out to us if you have any queries on how we can build this together and start ranking higher. Awesome. As promised earlier, you can just quickly scan this code and we'll ensure to send you the guide for the 26 AEO and GEO content playbook along with the latest prompts. Along with this, if you want an consultation and audit and the strategy, we would love to sit together, hear from you guys, and have a chat across during this conversation. I'll take a pause here and give you a minute. Also, my team can paste the link on the chat so that all of you would have access to this. Awesome. I think we are pretty much on time, and I would love to take up any questions in the last 10. We'll spend next 10-15 minutes on any Q&A. So over to Kayed and team.
Thank you, Sunil. That was incredibly insightful. And before we head into our next session, we have some exclusive offers lined up and a chance to win multiple $100 grab vouchers. Along with it, a free website growth consultation and a AI starter marketing kit. So don't miss out and stay engaged, and maybe you will be one of the lucky winners. Up next, we'll take a closer look at Vodien and how the brand is empowering businesses. For that, I'm inviting Kayed. With over 12 years of experience across marketing, sales, and business development, Kayed brings deep expertise in driving performance-led growth. His focus spans influencer marketing, affiliate programs, and lead generation across APAC region. He's currently heading the strategic partnership at Vodien for the Singapore region and building businesses cases and revenue projections for companies and partners. Kayed, over to you.
Thank you, Sakshi. And thank you, Sunil, for that really insightful session. I think the tools and resources that you shared towards the end would be really helpful to the audience getting started with their AI SEO journey. So, anyone in the audience who still has a doubt about AI SEO, please do reach out to Sunil and his team over at Pixelo. I'm very sure they'll be able to help you out with that. Now, talking a little about Vodien. Vodien has been around in Singapore for over 20 plus years. We are the largest domain name and web hosting services provider in the Singapore region. So if you need any help with your websites, with your domain names, we can definitely help you out over there. We have an excellent rating of 4.6%, 4.6 on Trustpilot, which shows the trust that the brand has in the region. Our core product sets include web hosting to help you host your websites with us. So if it's an e-commerce website, if it's a simple static website as well, we can help you with that. If you need a business domain name for your brand name, we can help you register that at the best prices possible. We have server solutions for any large applications that you might be developing for your clients or for yourself. And we also provide online marketing services to help you grow your brand in market as well. What we are doing at Vodien to embrace AI is, number one, we are in the process of launching our own AI website builder, which can help you quickly build your own website with just a few prompts. We are building out domain name suggestion tools. So if you are confused about what business name your brand should represent, then we can help you figure out with that name by giving you multiple options based on what your business actually does, and then provide you a seamless experience to booking that domain name. We are also transitioning over to the cloud as well as we speak. So we are getting powered by OCI, and that will help us to scale our services even quicker, faster for you guys. So that's also in the works. And we want to provide more AI into our products with regards to domain management, logo creation, and helping out our customers manage their websites better by fixing simple solutions using some sort of an AI chatbot. Lastly, we are using AI in a lot of our support tools as well. So ensuring that maximum number of queries are now getting addressed by AI quickly. We want to get onboarding done using AI as well, so we can help you navigate through your order experience and your customer experience over at Vodien using AI. We are deploying AI to proactively monitor any sort of attacks or slow speeds, etc., so that we can give you the right warning at the right time to ensure that your server is up to date and your website is up to date. We are also deploying some form of a chatbot to help you manage your day-to-day daily tasks like DNS configuration, ensuring your renewals are up to date, and ensuring that your website is constantly being monitored using one of our AI monitoring tools, so that your website uptime is always secure and that you get preventive action before you have to take any drastic steps to protect your website. And lastly, as Sakshi mentioned, there are some exclusive webinar perks. So if you post about your experience with this webinar, you can stand a chance to win a $100 grab voucher. All you have to do is go to LinkedIn, tag Vodien, talk about your experience, talk about what you learned today, and share it with everyone else. There is also a free website consultation that we are offering. So please go ahead and grab that as well. Someone from our team will reach out to you if you request it. And then lastly, the whole entire presentation that was shared today by Sunil and his team will be shared with you for further review as well.
Thank you, Kayat. Great insights on AI-powered website builder. Very, very helpful. Now, moving on, the floor is now open for more questions. Please feel free to share your queries in the chat. We'll address them one by one.
All right, Sunil. So the first question that we have is, how do we create LLMs.txt file? When we create an LLMS file using any tool, it shows that the
I think
file is
meanwhile,
okay.
I can respond to the first one here. So the question here is, how do we create an
I think Sunil just dropped off.
Okay, we're waiting for Sunil to join back. But the question at hand is, how do we create LLM.txt file? When we create LLMs file using any tool, it shows that file is okay, but in SEMrush it shows an error. Can you? So I would take up this question. LLM.txt is very similar to the robots.txt file which we create. Okay. Now, for all the search engines, understand the entire URL architecture on your website, you create a robots file which is a crawler enabler, if we can say that. So that will enable bots to come and crawl over your website, and you're telling them the path to. It is very similar to so it enables sitemap indexation, right? Sitemap is a library of everything which you have on your website. The jury is still not out on whether LLM.txt is an enabler or not. That is the first thing I would like to say. The second is, the way to create LLM.txt file is relying on third-party tools. You should not be doing that on your own, because there is a specific library architecture which is supposed to be followed, and only the third-party platforms which provide LLM.txt creation, they should be used. If you're getting an error in SEMrush that your LLM.txt file is either uncrawlable or it is not structured, I mean, the information library is not structured in the right way, or that is not enabling LLM platforms or language models to come and index the content, you know, SEMrush is also not an authority. So take it with a pinch of salt. The benchmark which you need to use is if you're seeing more citation on LLM platforms of the content on your website. So I would not say just use SEMrush as your only benchmark. What you need to do is use the benchmark as citations. There are a lot of third-party tools which give you this data. You can check them yourself. Go to top five, LLM platforms, language models, and try to search for common questions which are asked for your industry, and you can see if your brand or your URL, your website is being cited or not. There is a beautiful tool called Amplitude. Amplitude also tells you all the citation data, so you can try out Amplitude also. So yeah, so LLM, yes, get it created. It's very similar to robot.txt file, which is a sitemap enabler. SEMrush showing an error is not the right benchmark. Keep the right benchmark as uh, the citations you're getting, and measure these citations through yourself and also third-party tools. Try Amplitude also, and I'm not like in no way associated with Amplitude. I like the tool, that's why I'm recommending it. Okay, Kayat, we can move on to the next question. Try Amplitude also. I'm in no way associated with Amplitude. I like the tool, that's why. Okay, Kayat.
I guess Sunil is still unavailable. All right. So the next question is, which are the AI charts in the market today? Can you give us some names of such chatbots?
Thank you. So this is a conflict of interest question. I would not be able to answer this because this would be like recommending a product which is either a competitor via a sponsored review. But we will ask Sunil, who's the speaker, the keynote speaker of the webinar, if he can share some of the third-party tools and also why he's recommending them, and we'll share that with email with all the attendees of this call.
Thank you. And the last question was why you mentioned that AI searches can enable lead opportunities. Is there a specific way to get it going in a standard fashion?
This is a very linear question. I don't know if I understand the question, the breadth of the question completely. But AI searches enabling lead or opportunities or business, business outcomes, they are very similar to any kind of traffic which is resulting in on your website. They are consuming the information about what services or products you're providing, and then making a buying decision. That's how the entire loop happens. So AI search, whether the search is through Google platform, which is Google search, whether the search is through Microsoft platform, which is Bing, or whether the search is through Yahoo, Yandex, or the search is through AI platforms. AI platform is just an additional avenue of information consumption. So you should not look at that in isolation. What you need to do is that, okay, if somebody is consuming information, let's say you're selling um, television sets. So which is the best television set? You're one of the providers. Somebody would consume information on ChatGPT or Perplexity or Grok or Claude. They will consume that information. They will come to your website. So that's how AI searches, they enable leads or opportunities, because the level of intent is very high in comparison to Google search, because Google search normally starts at an informational stage. You also need to understand that hey Sunil, hi, welcome back. I've
Yeah,
been filling in for you.
I was trying to join back again, but I was facing some issues, so I could
Yeah.
hear you, but couldn't respond. Please go on.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, feel free to add your thoughts. So yeah, so AI searches, they would translate to leads or opportunities in the same way as any query search or any informational search would translate to. Sunil, there is one question on AI chatbots. Do you have any recommendations, any third-party tools? I have a conflict of interest, so I can't recommend anything, but maybe you
Uh,
can.
I think general purpose chatbots, if you see uh, ChatGPT, Bard, or Claude, is again in that category. When you're looking for enterprise grade, there could be, I think, Microsoft Copilot. Then there is, I think, Salesforce has Einstein GPT. These are few things which you can also look at. Apart from that, I think there are a bunch of different, it depends upon the use case you're trying to solve. So I might not know those use cases. There is intercom drift AI, which I have previously used also. So some of them can be customized according to your need and the problem statement. So you should look at first those area and then probably look at the chatbot, because each solves different purposes, be it e-commerce or just general website, or from a sales perspective and all of that. Interestingly, you should also look at different voice agents today. So today it's not just about having a chatbot. If that chat to voice can also interlink together, that would really be phenomenal on creating a great user experience for people. I hope that helps. Or yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sunil, maybe you want to maybe you want to give your own thoughts to the first question also that came in with regards to the LLMS file. If you want to add anything there.
Okay, just let me read through it. So one of the thing I think is uh, placing the right text on when your domain.com llms.text to start with in terms of your URL. Use plain text and keep it very descriptive. Uh, Probably you should avoid using JSON when you're building these strategy. I think these should help. But if you still are facing any issue, please reach out to us. We can just fix it for you.
Okay. And the last question, I think, which is still a very relevant question in today's day and age, and what a lot of people have is basics of SEO. Are they still the same or are they different now?
I think when we look at a marketing from a very fundamental level, things, strongly believe things don't change fundamentally. You still are trying to understand the human psyche of how they are thinking, how they are buying. Uh, the only thing that have changed is probably how the user is going ahead of doing the research. Okay, so that has typically modernized. So if we are on top of our game of our own psychology, the way we can read your users, I think we can do better and strategizes accordingly. So the fundamentals remain probably the same, but the way to do has changed. So that modernization has come into place, and AI have to be part of it.
Got it. And one last question that I have, and I think a lot of other people would also have, is like, how do you actually track and monitor the AI mentions on the different LLM tools? Because there are so many LLM tools now, and pretty much every month, some other LLM tool is also getting launched again with some new models. So, what kind of tool is available which can track the mentions across all these different tools?
Understood. I think when you look at your search console, you can start looking across the kind of citation as well as keyword that is getting ranked. Few of the things what earlier I mentioned was Screaming Frog. Then you can also look at your SEM Rush. It's to start with Google Search Console and Google Analytics. That's a classic way of looking at your overall strategy. I think these are the few fundamental tools you should start off with and categorize it accordingly for now.
Got it. Well, thank you, Sunil. Everyone in the audience, if you would like to have consultation with Sunil, please reach out to him and his team over at Pixelo. If you would like to speak with someone from Vodien, please grab the offer of getting that one-on-one website consultation, and we'll connect with you if you agree to it. And now I'll hand it over back to Sakshi.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Vaibhav and Kayat. That was indeed a wonderful session. On behalf of Vodien team, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thanks to our speakers, Sunil Arya, Kayat Vadawala, Vaibhav Srivastav, and of course, an amazing audience for taking the time to engage, learn, and grow with us. Before we close, a few important reminders. You will receive a post-webinar survey. We'd love to hear back your feedback. Slides, references, materials, and AI starter marketing kit and the recording will be shared with you via email shortly. You can get a one-on-one website consultation with us. Winners of the $100 grab voucher giveaway will be announced over email as well. And if you want to increase your chances of winning, post about your experience on LinkedIn and tag us at the rate VodienSG. Once again, thank you for being part of this session. We hope you're walking away with practical insights and inspirations to grow smarter with AI on your side. Have a great day ahead, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.